What up, beautiful people? Welcome back for another Raw and True from Our Point of View podcast. I'm your host. My name is Kevin. They call me Skiff.
My name is Gray. What's good?
And what are we talking about today, Gray?
We're talking about the changes.
The changes. Oh my, the changes.
And full disclaimer, we're not experts. We're not people masquerading as life coaches or anything like that. We just hope to gather our experiences, the knowledge that we've gained through our battles to hopefully shine some light to those that may be experiencing the same situation as us, the same thoughts, and the same
Experiences.
doom 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 and the same experiences. So yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. You got a quote of the day for us?
Quote of the day: if you believe it will work, you'll see opportunities. If you believe it will fail, you'll see obstacles.
Yeah.
Money.
That's deep. That's deep. It's kind of like what people believe in nowadays. It was just manifesting, right? If you manifest that your life or whatever it is in your life that's going to happen, it'll come true, which is like careers, relationships, having a kid, even getting married, any of that. Like if you believe in it, it'll definitely come true.
Kevin, let me start by asking you this question.
Yeah.
What changes have you made in your life to become a better version of yourself and a better version of the person you wanted to be?
That's a great question, Greg. And truthfully, I feel like that's, I wouldn't say a sensitive thing, but something I really had to do in my life in order to make it better. And as men, especially Asian American men in this life, we are thought to be the providers, right? We're thought to provide for our family, and we're thought to make sure that everything in the family works right. And so for me, there's three things that I personally felt like I had to change in my life. One of them is trust, because I knew for a fact if I couldn't trust, I wouldn't make it far in life. If you lived a life where it was hard for you to trust others because of the fact that they abused that trust or they took advantage of that trust, obviously it's going to be hard for you to trust those folks. And that's how I was early on in my life, especially because I had divorced parents, and it was hard for me to trust others because of the fact, like, how do I know that this person that's coming into my life is not going to leave me the same as my father? That's what I kind of related that to. And it was hard. You know, it was hard for me to trust others, whether it be family members, romantic partners, or even friends. Like, it was hard for me to know that, how am I supposed to know that you're not going to leave me the same way as my father did? You know, and so that affected me a lot because of the fact that I didn't know how to trust these folks. And so that happened in my early ages. You know, every single time I had a girl, or even friends, I always thought that they didn't like me, or they didn't want me, or at some point they're going to want to leave me, just like the person that was supposed to stay in the rest of my life was. I felt like they were just going to leave. And that's where all the trust kind of affected everything. And so I didn't know how to trust myself. That was the most important thing, was I didn't know how to trust myself more than anything. Most of the thoughts that we have in our head lead to that. They're thoughts. They're not facts. Which is very important for a lot of us out there, that we have to understand that thoughts doesn't equal facts. The things that are in our head are most of the time not even true. We're just thinking it because of the fact that everything that's happened in our past. And it's kind of like what we were talking about, right? Trust is given and not earned. And before I kind of touch base on the reasons why I think trust is given and not earned, I kind of want to hear your take, Greg. Like, why is trust given for you? And if they break that trust, then it's earned after that.
So it's situational, right? Because if you and that person already have history and a relationship, and you guys are on cool basis, then trust is already kind of given because you have that history. However, if that trust is broken, then there are these roadblocks, these speed bumps, these boundaries, whatever you want to call them, that affect that. And so you have to reestablish that, which is earned by whatever it is that happens, right?
What does trust mean to you when it's someone brand new? Somebody that you don't know, somebody that doesn't have your trust already. Do you believe wholeheartedly that trust is given and not earned? Someone brand new. Someone brand new.
If it's someone that I don't have history or a relationship with, trust is something that needs to be earned. What is it that you're saying? How is it that you're acting around me? Do you have my back? That shows me if I can trust you, right? And that's kind of how it differs between someone that you have history with, in my personal opinion, and someone that you don't have that history with. And how about you, Kevin?
And so, yeah, from my point of view, I believe that trust is given and not earned. And a lot of people can definitely disagree with that. Everybody has their own opinions. That's fine. And so, yeah, for me, when I give trust, I don't have to walk on eggshells thinking like, is this person gonna betray me? Is this person gonna do me wrong? I gotta watch out for their actions. I gotta see like, are they really who they want to be, right? Are they gonna do this and do that, or are they gonna betray behind my back, or like how are they when we're around our friends? Like, are they gonna go and talk to this person, that person? It only takes one shot for me, like, to be like, all right, you're cut off. All right, that's all it takes. And that's the reason why I've learned that giving trust is muy importante for myself, right? Other people can have different opinions, like Ray has mentioned, like he thinks it's earned. But it's a sense of peace in my mind knowing that you can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna show me yourself that you're gonna do what you want to do. So if you want to go talk to those other guys, you can go talk to those other guys. And if you start flirting or doing this and touching them, I know for a fact, all right, cool. I'm gonna step back. You can go with that guy. I don't have to deal with this. You know what I mean?
Trey songs.
And that's why I believe personally that giving trust provides that peace of mind. The second thing I knew I had to change was my confidence. Confidence in myself, confidence in that I can make a difference in this world, and confidence that I can make a change into everyone around me. Confidence was something I definitely had to change in myself to understand that if I wanted to be a better person for myself, I had to be confident in what I was doing, whether it be career, whether it be family, whether it be relationships, whether it be my life. Like, I had to be confident in everything I was doing because it hasn't arrived yet, but knowing that I'm confident in what's going to happen is all that I needed to understand. You know, it's kind of like having faith, right? Having faith in the ability of what you have and how it will grow to you as an individual. And I wasn't confident. I wasn't confident at all. I wasn't confident in the career I was doing. I wasn't confident that I wasn't going to have myself in the future. I wasn't confident that I wouldn't be attractive enough for others or for females. I wasn't confident enough in the fact that like my friends and family didn't love me or appreciate me. And I just wasn't confident overall in like my appearance and all this other stuff. So I had to change that. I had to change the fact that like I had to be confident in myself. I had to be confident in what God has given me, right? And no matter what you believe in, whether it's spiritual, universal, or a different type of higher being,
Okay.
you had to be confident in what they've given you, the cards you were dealt with. That's what you had to be confident in, and I wasn't confident.
So, what things, what attributes, what traits do you possess now that help you become or stay confident when you're kind of faced with like challenges and doubt, self-doubt and stuff like that?
Yeah. Great question, Gray. Hit it with the bangers all the time, I swear.
Great question. Next question.
So for me, there was a few things in my life that I felt were very important because of the way it was perceived by others. Kind of like how I mentioned earlier, how you love is the way you are shown to be loved. Not only that, but how you were influenced can also perceive into the way you influence your life. So I've had uncles who said that pretty is everything, appearance is everything, get a baddie or get a fine girl. That's exactly what the way to life. You know what I mean? So that from that, it made me feel like looks was a very important thing in life. Not only that, but then like you have all these celebrities and everything that you see in social media. Like Jason Momoa is like literally, I would say, in my own standards, that a perfect person, right? He has the hair, he has the height, he has the body, the skin tone, right? And he can act, right? Like he is like the full package.
That's funny because people say I look, I look like it. I'm just saying, people say I look like it. I don't know. But anyways, I don't see it, but yeah, hit me with it.
But like some people say he's the perfect package because of everything that he has. Now, some people might not say he's the perfect package, but from what I've heard, Jason Momoa was the perfect package. And when
Okay.
that's when I learned like confidence is, looks is half of it.
Mm-hmm.
Looks is what gets you through the door. Looks is what you see from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
But the real confidence comes from within, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously. But what that means for me at least is your personality, the kind of character you are, the way you treat people, what kind of human being you are.
Yep.
That inside of you is what you can fully be confident in.
Inside of
you.
You know that song?
Yeah. Wanna be inside of you. What was it? Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Yep. Hell yeah. Russell Brand or some
Russell
shit.
Brand.
You fuck with you fuck with it, bro.
Of
That's what's up. You
course.
fuck with it.
Inside of you.
Nah, I'm sorry, bro, not to cut you off or anything, but I mean it's true. Like as non-shallow as humans try to seem, physical attraction is kind of what draws you in, right? And I think as we become adults, we stop learning, we stop thriving for more. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. And so I feel like to really have a strong relationship, the physical attraction is kind of what draws you in first. And then you get to kind of know the person. You get to kind of learn the character, the intentions, the way they kind of show love to others. Like all of those things kind of become who they are. And that's kind of what drives that relationship on and on. So like, as I know, like a relationship isn't won in a day. It's a never-ending journey and battle that you and your other kind of fights day to day. You know what I mean? Like I've been a part of many rocky relationships, the fault being mine or hers, and I've learned throughout the years that the journey of love isn't really a destination. Love isn't a destination. It's a journey. It's the battles that you fight with every day. It's the compromise that you guys make to make the other person happy, and it's the compromise that they make to make you happy. And so, yeah, man, inside of you, inside of you.
I've also learned. I mean, Gray has a loving wife who's also my cousin, has an amazing son, right? I love that little boy. And one of the things I've learned personally is love is a choice. Love is a choice that you will choose that person day in and day out, no matter how hard stuff may get, or even things may get, life may get, right? It is a choice. It is a choice for you to choose that person day in and day out. And that's what truly love is. It isn't about, how fine they are or what they can provide in this way or that way. It is a choice. It is a choice for you to choose that person day in and day out. And to the confidence point, yeah. Once you're able to find confidence within yourself, you're able to be yourself. You're able to understand that no matter what happens, this person will choose you, as we were saying, for you, and you'll be confident in that.
So it kind of plays off of that whole you need to love yourself before you can love others. Like when you really establish that self being of who you are, what you can give others, that's how you have that level of confidence where you don't necessarily let what other people say about you bring you down, and you're able to kind of battle these self-doubts that may be imposed onto you by others and their perception of you, right?
Right.
So it's a journey, it's a process, right? Like Kevin likes to say, trust the process, keep going, right? Where it's a never-ending journey of self-help, self-growth,
Huh.
where it's like I don't need to be held down to this world. I just need to know to myself. I just need to know myself internally that I'm continuously growing to be a better version of myself, to be a stronger version of myself, and to be able to hold myself down. Because in the end, you're going to be the biggest advocate for yourself than anyone else out there on this earth.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. And I've learned also when it comes to confidence, we have to understand that the hand that we were dealt with is the hand we were dealt with. And we got to understand that we got to play the cards no matter what it is. Some of us might feel like we're not the prettiest, best looking, the tallest, the most handsome, or even, the smartest. But we have to play what we were dealt with in this world. And the third thing that I fully understood that I needed to change was accountability. And I feel like a lot of us out there don't really want to take this onto consideration because we're prideful, right? We're prideful on the fact that, like, whatever we think or we believe or we say is true. But sometimes you have to understand that sometimes you're the one that might be the problem. And so I knew for a fact I had to change that. I had to take accountability on my own self and really evaluate and analyze everything that was going on around me in order to change this. Yeah. And so, all right, Greg, I want to ask you, what are the things that you had to change in your life to make yourself a better version of yourself or even a better person?
Okay. Sorry, y'all. I was laughing because I realized it's dark as fuck outside, and I got all these sunglasses. And on top of that, for those who can't see the podcast, we are recording into the late night, so now everything's dark, so we have lights up. That's why things obviously look different. However, I do know that it's a process, and everything that I do now, I'm kind of more conscious about how I'm reacting to things, the things that I'm saying to those around me, and the way that I'm internally feeling about the emotions that are kind of projected to me. And yeah, we're bouncing it back to Kevin now.
It's a great point, Gray. I think what you're trying to say is, like, you're not trying to take everything to heart. You're more so trying to understand the other person's perspective, and you're not trying to take every single phrase or word or whatever somebody might say to you as offensive. And so something that I've done that's also a part of my change when it comes to trust is I've learned to just tell all honesty no matter what. Also possibly because I have short-term memory. So
Forget the lies you tell. Yeah.
There's a famous quote. There's a quote. I don't remember exactly from who. I saw it on Twitter or TikTok, something like that. But when you tell a lie, you have to remember a story. And when you tell the truth, you just have to remember the truth. And so, like, when you tell a lie, all the stories that you have to remember become difficult.
Mm.
And so for me, it's like, I don't want to have to put myself through this mental fortitude of trying to remember exactly every single lie I've ever told or every single story I've ever told to somebody else. So I wholeheartedly just tell the truth. Whether they like it or not, they will determine themselves if they want to stay in this or not by telling the truth. This is actually going pretty deep, and it is going further than I expected. But I also wanted to say the other things that kind of got into my life and things that I've changed personally, which is one of the other things is accountability, right? Gray kind of talked about this earlier in some of the podcasts or some of the episodes about how accountability really affects us. And for my whole entire life, I blamed others. I blamed others for the fact of them not doing it right. It was an easy gateway to like not blame myself because I didn't really hold myself accountable for all the actions that I've made in my life. And I don't know if it's because of the history that we've had, or I've had, sorry, with my parents being divorced. And I probably just didn't want to feel like I was always the problem. So I never took accountability for my own actions. But in all, truthful and honesty, all the decisions I've ever made in my life is all myself. All of the things that I've decided to do and how to live my life is all myself.
Did you used to feel like you were a burden to your mother when you were a child?
Yeah.
And if so, like, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I used to blame myself for the divorce of my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was me.
Solely you.
Solely. Well, I mean, yeah.
Mm.
Even though I had an older brother, I felt like I was a problem. I felt like I was the reason why my parents broke up.
Gotcha.
I felt like I was the one that split my parents into two. And it's kind of crazy because, like, honestly, after that divorce happened between my parents, that's the only thing I remember. I don't remember anything before the age of 9.
Mm.
You know, the only things I remember is after my parents got divorced. Like, my grandparents and my uncles and aunties would be telling me all these stories. Like, one of the stories is there was a time when I asked for a tabo so I can wet my hair in the freaking swimming pool,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I would take this tabo and I would wet my hair in the swimming pool
Mm-hmm.
when I could have just dipped my head. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, for those who don't know what a tabo is, like, can you explain what it is, my friend?
Yeah. So basically, a tabo is like,
It's like a water scooper, basically.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a little handle, and it has like this little hole, and it obviously doesn't have a hole, but it's like this little cup or bowl, right? It's a
Mhm.
handle with a bowl, and you get to scoop water and pour it over your head.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that. And then the only reasons why I remember is because my grandparents showed me a picture of it, and that's when I remembered. And then my aunties and uncles would always tell me, like, I used to pick you up all the time from school.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't remember that,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And it kind of shows how effective it is when your childhood kind of plays into part with the whole entire, like, everything that happened.
Which is really interesting to say because me personally, I tend to remember the negative things more than the positive things. Like, for instance, like if me, my wife, and my child, we go out and we're kind of having like a good day, we go out and eat, I don't necessarily remember that Monday. But that Tuesday, if me and my wife get into an argument, I'll remember that. We're like, yeah, we were fighting in the parking lot of like Safeway or Sprouts or whatever it may be. And it's just kind of interesting how that kind of works.
It's like we focus so much on the negative instead of the positive, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's like we don't learn to enjoy or be happy with some of the good stuff that happened in our lives because of the stuff that we've went through.
It's hard, yeah.
It's hard, yeah.
It's hard. And I think, I know I say it all the time, but the perspective you have on life, man, like really makes a difference. You know what I mean?
Right. Because I've learned that when it comes to healing or even your self-healing journey, you got to love yourself more than anything. You know what I mean? If you don't love yourself, I won't say no one will, but loving yourself is muy importante more than everything.
It's a lot of Spanish tonight.
Being accountable for myself is something I definitely had to do in order to change myself. I had to understand that this life that I've been dealt with, I have to take full accountability for it, and whatever actions or whatever decisions I made in my life, I'm fully accountable for it. It's not my mom, it's not my history, it's not everybody that was before it, it's solely me.
So what can you tell the audience in terms of being accountable? Meaning, what do you do to kind of keep yourself accountable?
Right. That's a great question. So when it comes to accountability for myself, I know that whatever action that somebody else makes is solely based off of their own actions or their own personality. I am only accountable for the things that I make or what I decide after. The way people react to me it's solely off of them. And the way I react off of their reactions is solely off of me. So I don't take their bait. Because I'm pretty sure all of us have had insecurities at one point or another, or still might have insecurities. And if you want to learn more about the insecurities about Gray and I, you're going to have to tune into the next episode. So with that being said, Gray, take us out, man.
Hey, y'all. Thank you for tuning in for the Raw and True From Our Point of View podcast, episode 4. Stay tuned for episode 5. Peace.
Yee! Let's go!